Hi there, in this video tutorial I'll show you how to write the for loop. We can use a loop to repeat a number of tasks or commands. There could be conditions such as repeat certain commands for X number of times or repeat them as long as some condition is found to be true. Keyword for when we are writing a for loop, then a variable name, let's say count. In this case we are not using the dollar symbol here because we are assigning a value to this variable every time the block gets executed. Then we use the keyword in as we do with the case block, and then we have a list. So let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and finally 10. So I have provided a list, then semicolon, do. The next line contains a keyword done. Do is a result keyword which we will use with the for loop in this session or in this scenario. Echo dollar count. Let's see what we get when this for loop is executed. Then we'll go through all these three lines. Let's save the file and quit. Set the executable permission and run the program or script. So you see all values beginning with 1 through 10 have been printed out. Let's print the source script now. What's happening here? This command echo has been executed 10 times because after the keyword in there are 10 different values. It doesn't matter what those values are. We can say safely that they are 10 items, or as many items are here, for those many items or for those many times run whatever has been specified between the do and the done statements. It's that simple. So there are 10 items and 10 times this echo statement has been printed out, and we have simply printed out those items themselves. In each iteration the variable count gets the next value. So when the first item was encountered, that is the value 1, it was assigned to the variable count, and with the help of the echo command we just printed it out. Then the value 2 was assigned to the variable count and the command echo was executed. The last item or the last value was 10, which was assigned to the variable count, and the command echo was executed. After that no value was left. The control went past the done statement, and as there were no other commands after the for block or after the done statement, so our program or script exited. Let's edit it. I will just add one simple statement here. And run the script again. So you see, my message thanks has been printed out only once because it is outside the block for do and done. I'm editing this script and putting that message or echo command there, saving and quitting. Now let's run the script again, and you see the message thanks has been printed out 10 times. So it doesn't matter what we do with the variable count. The important thing is what we are doing in between the do and the done statements. We can have any command here, we can have any other script here, we can have any other program here. Let's do something else this time. Let's perform simple calculation. As we know, the value of count would be a numeric value in each iteration. So we can access that value using the dollar symbol prefixed to it, and we can perform some calculation here. Let's print a table of the number 10. I've used this dollar here intentionally so that the result would be sent back to the calling program or the command, which is echo here. An echo command would in turn print that message out. Let's save the file and quit. Let's see the source right here and then run the script. So you see the variable count got the value 1 in its first iteration. We accessed the value here, and with the arithmetic calculation being performed here, we multiplied the value with the number 10, and so we got the number 10 here. So you can see the last value was 10, and as a result of being multiplied with the number 10, we got the number 100 here. And this message is outside the for loop, so this would be printed out anyhow. Let's run this script in a bit different manner to understand how this loop is actually working. We'll see in my other tutorials how we can run a script in debug mode. For this exercise, just remember that we are using the bash shell and we are using the -x option to run the shell in the debug mode. Let's run it. Okay, some lines have been hidden, so let's go a bit up here. So we are running the script this way in the debug mode. Our script, the first line for is here in front of the plus symbol. It has been converted to that statement while executing. So the count variable would see these values. Now in the first iteration, my echo command would be executed. So you see the plus sign here again, because this statement has been translated to echo 10. As I told you, we were performing some arithmetic calculation here. Because of the dollar symbol being prefixed here, the pair of parentheses would perform the calculation on the values inside it, and it would be returned to the echo command. The result would be returned to the echo command. So the echo command would look like this, and when executed, it would print this message or the value. And so we see the number 10 being printed out here and in the debug mode here. So you see that plus line means the command, and without plus we see the actual output. In the second iteration, echo command would print the value 20, as we can see here also. And finally, echo command would see the message thanks this way and print it out. Let's write another for loop. This time we are going to use a for loop inside another for loop. For count 1, 2, 3, 4. If we are not using or not writing the do statement here or the do command here, we can remove this semicolon and bring down the do statement onto the next line. It's a matter of your personal choice, how you write your script, how you document it, how you make it look better and clearer. Let's write another for loop. For num, I missed the keyword in here. For num in 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this. Let's close the do block. So you see, this is the outer for loop. It has its own do statement and the closing done statement. This is the inner for loop or embedded for loop. It has its own do statement and done statement. We can have multiple commands between the do and the done statements in the outer for loop as well as in the inner for loop. Let's just print this simple message and see what happens. Let's give our script the executable permission and then run the script. Now let's print out the source. So you see 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, 1:4 and so on up to 4:4. So you can now better guess what's happening. See, the outer for loop, the variable count is getting the first value, which is 1, and for this iteration we have another for loop, and here the variable num is getting the value 1, and inside that inner for loop we have this echo statement which is printing out the value of the variable count, which is getting its value in the outer for loop. In the first run the value would be 1. As we have already reached inside the inner for loop, the variable num has already got its value, which is 1, and the echo command is printing the values of both the variables. So in the first iteration both the variables are having the value 1, and so we see 1:1 being printed out there. Now this loop is not yet finished, because as soon as this statement done is reached, the control see that there is another value still left there. So it is assigned to the variable num, and the variable count is still having the old value 1, while the variable num has got a new value which is 2. So 1:2 is printed out here. So for each iteration of the outer for loop, all the iterations of the inner for loop would be carried out. That's why you see for the value 1 in the outer for loop, all the values from 1 through 4 have been printed out here. When all these values are exhausted, the control goes past the done statement and the no value is left. So this loop, this entire block has finished its work. Now control goes to the done statement and then back to the for loop, and a check is or a test is performed and to see if any other value is left. Yes, we still have 3 more values. So this time the variable count gets assigned the value 2, or the digit 2, and again what happens? inside the do and done, the outer do and done, these and this, these commands are executed, and these are not just commands, they are forming another for loop, and it's a new call for this for loop or block. So here the variable num gets the value 1 again, and so when this echo statement is executed, the variable count is holding a new value which is 2, you can see here, and the variable num is get the number 1 as its value, and we can see here. So we can have multiple for loops, we can have more for loops here. Let's see what it does when we execute it. Let's print out the source. Let's start with the last value. When the variable count sees the value 4 here, the second for block is executed, and it has got 4 sub iterations. In the first iteration, the value 1 is assigned to the variable num. But again, instead of executing simple commands, there is another for block or for loop, and it has got 2 iterations. And the variable x is getting the value 1. So when this echo command is executed, the variable count has the value 4, the variable num has the value 1, and the variable x has the value number 1. So you see 4, 1, 1 here. That's it, folks. It may sound a little bit complex, but with some practice, I'm sure you will get it right. I'll show you more examples of this for block when we discuss other formats of loops in Bash, and as we progress and write more complex scripts, we'll make use of these loops. So you will see more examples coming up in my upcoming video tutorials. Thank you.